thank Dr. Wicks for his eloquent remarks, and I too just like Paul McCartney. but now it's time for you all to speak. I'm gonna recognize people as they stand up and want to give a 1.5 to 2 minute speech. I'll be a little stricter about timing for these, so when you hear that gavel, that means you have 30 seconds left, and I will have absolutely no qualms about banging you all down because you're not Professor Singer. So with that, anyone interested in giving a speech, please stand up now. Sure. Just seat wherever you want. Stand at your seats. It'll be easier to time to run around here.
So first thing I have to say is that I don't eat meat. I'm still in this part of the hall because I do eat eggs, and somebody told me that eggs is the form of meat, so I should be here. Secondly, what I wanted to say, importantly, was that we should first try to save ourselves and then try to save anyone else. What we do is that we see these big billboards which say, don't eat meat. What those billboards won't say is that if you don't eat meat, then please drink milk, eat cheese, or eat something to make your bones strong, or those parts of your health or your body which you need to make stronger in order to substitute meat. So the thing is that what we do is we cause harm to our own cells because we don't eat meat and still our bones grow weak, and we don't probably drink milk, and some of us won't eat cheese. And do you think if it is good that, let's say in our home there is a kid, and this kid whom we serve no meat, won't even eat cheese, won't drink milk, won't eat any of the stuff which is needed in order to make his bones stronger, which will give him calcium or protein, and we still don't serve that kid meat, so that kid will not grow to his full level because of our belief in no meat. And so I basically sum up with this very small thing which I wanted to ask in the end is that, do you think, so in India, Hindus believe that cows are holy. Does anyone know why they actually think so? What is one of the main causes, or what are they trying to say? They are trying to say that cows give milk, and milk is very important if you don't eat meat. And similarly, what I believe is that it's fine if somebody won't eat meat, but please make sure that you eat stuff which can substitute meat in your daily diet. Thank you.
That person in the back first.
I guess I tried to come here like open-minded. I eat meat, but I, sometimes feel ambiguous about it. My sister's vegetarian, so I was a little bit disappointed though about. Sorry, I was a little bit disappointed about the way that the debate progressed. I'm like trained in policy debate, so I paid a lot of attention to the resolution, which was, I think, the debate didn't really adhere to that, because if the question is, can we ethically eat meat? And I liked that you made that can we, being we in Princeton, who have alternate choices, ethically eat animals that are killed. I think that the problem is a lot of what was said was a little bit irrelevant to that question. For example, suffering of animals, I think the negative was, or the affirmative rather, was very correct to concede that sustainable farming was important, because if sustainable farming reduces suffering, then suffering becomes rather irrelevant. If there's no a priori right to life for an animal, if the life of an animal is not comparable to a human, and all you're talking about is suffering, then the question becomes, can you kill an animal without causing suffering? And I didn't really get an answer, and I would have wished to know if I could buy meat that had less suffering. They touched upon it with the environmental sustainability as well. I think that the energy arguments were a little bit irrelevant. You made very good arguments that you have a responsibility to stop global warming, but if I buy carbon offsets but then choose to eat meat, is that a problem? I don't come away from the debate knowing. And then finally, the poverty issue. Is it a moral prerequisite to lower food prices? I still don't completely understand how that relates to killing animals, because I could send a check to people who are in poverty and still eat meat. I think that like a lot of the arguments were very smart, but I would have wished that I was given more direct guidance about how to live my daily life. Thank you.
I would just like to say, as far as the point about, I would just like to say, as far as the point about our eating choices on campus not making a difference as far as what we eat in the dining hall, I think that it should be clear that dining services at Princeton is very responsive to student choices, and that if one chooses to eat vegetarian or to reduce meat intake, that they do take very close inventories, and you do have a clear effect based on your eating choices at the dining hall, and also that they are very receptive to student input. You know, there are a lot more vegan choices now or vegetarian options, so I would just put on the table that when we're considering whether or not we should eat vegetarian or should abstain from eating meat on campus, that our choices as students, whether at the dining halls or the eating clubs or at any dining establishment around here, can have an impact.
Mr. Skiles.
Thank you. First off, I'd like to point out that if you truly believe that the unexamined life is not worth living, then I think we should kill off all animals right now. Second, I'd like to point out, you can complain extensively about the amount of resources that go into the act of feeding the animals for our consumption. So we have a lot of animals, and they clearly need a lot of food. So if you want to get rid of all those waste, it seems that we also have to kill a lot of animals, and perhaps it might be the efficient thing to do to consume them while we're killing them, because we're going to have to dramatically reduce the animal population to get them down to what you consider sustainable levels. Finally, I think that this fear we have of causing pain in animals is fundamentally irrational. It comes from our natural charity that we have as humans. It makes sense evolutionarily because we do not want to cause more harm to them than we need to, because if we were going around killing animals like crazy, we'd run out of food and we'd have nothing left to hunt. That's the only basis for it. We do not believe they are persons because they do not have the consciousness of the self as existing over time. Thank you.
Mr. Skiles. There's somebody up in the balcony. Can you speak from there, or you want to walk down?
I think that this is probably the
Great.
I'm a recent alumnus, but I do want to interject specifically regarding the comments of the policy debater. I don't think ethics is a zero-sum game, and so that is the one critique I would give of his critique of our interlocutors. But what I do want to say is that I feel that the argument about environmental sustainability is very important. In terms of poverty reduction, I don't fully understand how our decisions on this campus would affect, I guess, in some total unique in animal cruelty or more sustainably farmed animals. So yeah, I guess all I want to say was that ethics is not a zero-sum game. It should not be thought of this way. If animals are already killed, we can choose to make proper decisions, regarding